There comes a certain time at our age here and there where we look back at certain toys, shows, games even, that are from our childhood that we remember very fondly. For me, it would be like Lego, Schoolhouse Rock, and even more obscure things like Chatter Chipmunk. And then sometimes it could just be the opposite, like Brother Bear. I've covered pretty much all these topics I just mentioned in videos themselves, but there are two that I do remember from my childhood that I have yet to make a video on, or at least try and think of one, that is. One of those being something that I see on my laptop every day when I boot it up, though that one is probably going to be a more critical video. But the other one is actually physically on my desk, and I've been looking at this figure for days and days trying to think of what I could talk about. You can already tell from the title of this video, but it's Skylanders, baby. I've had some great memories with this game, whether that be getting one as a gift or saving up my Christmas and birthday money, as they were both close to each other, and going to my local Walmart or Target and then just buying as much as I could. And even that one time when I called my best friend and friend of the channel my first cuss word because he wouldn't let me play this one Skylander. I was the visitor for that house. I was visiting his house. I should get dibs on anything I play. I wanted to play as Wrecking Ball. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your mom. Ever since I became an adult and now have adult money, I've pretty much doubled my collection. Once again, it's another collection that my good friend Alpaca has got me into that has cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. Yes, I am blaming him on this again. And as I looked at my favorite round boy, I tried to figure out how I could segue into the discussion of this video, and that's when I decided to just give up and then just say like this: I want to know which Skylanders I can beat the fuck out of. I'm actually kind of surprised no one's done a video like this before, but at the same time I'm not, because almost all of these Skylanders could tear anybody from limb. With that being said, I want to test my skills and strengths by ranking every Skylander that I could probably beat on a one-on-one fight if given the opportunity. But before I go into the rankings, there are some rules that I need to make clear first. My first rule is that the Skylanders are not going to be max level or max upgraded, because if that was the case, why am I making this video then? Instead, the most I will have them is have their primary attack, their secondary attack, and their third attack they do get from upgrades, but it's just going to be at the first stage for all three of those attacks. Another rule is that the Skylander is going to be at its base form, and what I mean by that is because there are some Skylanders that have like a series 2, 3, and even 4. It's just gonna be series 1 if that is the case for any of them. I will count the superchargers, as pretty much all of them except for one has very different changes to warrant them to be on this list still. Though I will say the tier does not have the supercharger variants of those characters listed, so I will just mention them by the end of that tier. Rule number 3 feels a little bit obvious, but no, I am not fighting the vehicles. I felt like someone in the comments was gonna be like, oh, why didn't you mention the vehicles? There you go, I'm not fighting them. Yes, I do have a variety of weapons to choose from, but I am not stopping a car, submarine, or even a flying saucer, I don't fucking know what this thing is, from going Mach 12 towards me. And the other thing I'm not counting as well is Imaginators, as that's something you have to create and make as broken as possible, or you can make it as weak as possible if you really want to give yourself a challenge. And for those wondering, this is mine. His name's Humphrey, and he's got some really thighs. Yes, he's got some thighs. But for fun though, I will count other characters from the game that aren't Skylanders, but just a few. And that's all the rules I have regarding the tier list, but I thought I'd mention some problems I actually faced trying to make this happen. One that was pretty obvious and hit me immediately was that I don't have all the Skylanders. I actually am missing 66, but 73 if you count the minis as well. And even some of them that I do own, I've either haven't had the time to play with them yet, or haven't got a good grasp on them yet, because Imaginators sucks. Even with that, I had to do a lot of back and forth from the Skylanders wiki and looking at what the 3 moves for that character were, and then going from the YouTube videos and just watching the showcase of that Skylander and try and figure out what's like the first stage of a move. And speaking of me, it actually gets into my biggest problem that I didn't think was actually going to be a problem, being the height. They don't have height measurements for these characters. It's probably not that big of a deal when it comes to like the base game, but if someone was gonna do this video, why not have the heights down, you know? Can you help me out here, Activision? I guess not. I need to know my opponent's height before we have our epic clash of the century. Are they going to be catching me off guard with a short stature, or are they going to be gigantic and haunt me in my nightmares? That part was not a joke. That pickle scared me, okay? Not even the physical figures help me at all either, because they vary in sizes. You're telling me that the Trapmaster, Nightlight, and Kaboom are the same, if not taller than the giants. Actually, this back-to-back look goes pretty hard, not gonna lie. It's the same thing about the senseis, and I didn't even know what to do about the swappers. I kid you not when I say this, this took me 2 nights to just figure out a height for them or anything that could lead me to an estimate. The Skylanders wikis say they're unknown. Some trailers show them enormously taller than the core figures, but then have it not be the case when it comes to the gameplay, with giants being the biggest offender. I tried going on a Skylander Discord server, but this one was confusing me on how to join, which was stressing out my poor brain. Not even these subreddits or forums that I checked out had the answers for me either. Why did this game series not have the heights down for their characters? Mario Wahoo around 5'1", a short king. Ganondorf, well, 34 end lag frames later and you find out that he's 10 feet. Master Eon, womp womp, nope, nothing, bye bye. Pikachu, the Grinch, even Sensei Wu has a height measurement. He's a fucking Lego. Link, Boba Fett, Oh, Spyro's in the game. Bingo, I finally have something to work off of. Because of this, I'm going to implement something I have for this video known as the scaling of total and utmost bullshit. Due to there being no info on Skylander Spyro's height, we are just going to work off of the classic era Spyro, which does have a height, being at 4'3", and what I'll put all the core Skylanders at for my mental sake. Here's a picture of me that we'll use as a reference, by the way. I am exactly 6 foot and weigh exactly 134 pounds. That puts them all below my under titty. The minis seem to be somewhat half their height, so I'll just put them at 2'1.5", which will put them in the middle of my thighs.
Eyes up here.
Okay, well anyways, swappers seem to be somewhat close around or at that same height of the core figures. Because they are more special though, I'll bump them up to an extra 4'5", which puts them at the center of my chest, and I'm not really liking the spots all over my body. I'm making it a little bit insecure now. Giants take a massive leap though, as they tower over all the cores in swappers. I'm not even gonna try with this one. I'll put them at 6'6" because of the wise words of little Uzi Vert, stand on my money, now I'm 6'6". And that of course will put them 6 inches taller than me. Just cut me some slack so we can move on to the rankings, okay? Trapmasters are taller than the cores and swappers, but not taller than the giants, so we'll just say 5'6", excluding some other shorter and taller ones, which places them at my little button nose. Senseis, funny enough, are the same, being taller than the cores and swappers, shorter than the giants. Wait, where are you looking at, Kingpin? But they are also the same height as Trapmasters at 5'6", and I just realized I forgot about the superchargers, which I'll just put at 4'7" for, again, my mental state. Don't worry about the returning cores that became supercharged. They hit a growth spurt in R2 going through a phase. Got that? Any questions? No. Put your hand down. We're done. Get off the toilet. I know you're watching this on the toilet. Here I have 7 columns that I'll gradually reveal one by one and have a whopping 183 unique Skylanders to cover in this video. Because of the amount of Skylanders I have to rank here, I'll only talk about most of them, going into detail about why I think this Skylander is here, while some I'm just going to mention by name because I rambled about height for so long. And finally, with all those mentions now out of the way, let's get into ranking these characters from the bottom to the top, starting at column 7, being punting. These Skylanders, I feel like they're just going to be the easiest one for me. Light work, no reaction. I don't even have to break a sweat. There is no need for me to put out any kind of percentage of strength for these ones. They are getting punted. And who do you think I have in this list? Literally all the minis. All the minis, I'm just assuming that they are the baby forms of the regular Skylanders, meaning their power is at half strength. They're not really that powerful. And you might be saying, oh Michael, one's a lava monster, one's a rock dragon, one is literal bark. No. I don't think you heard me right. I don't care. You could be saying, oh, those three Skylanders, they're gonna hurt your foot. Guess what? Iron boot. There we go. We're good now, are we? And that's already column 7, but I do have some others that I want to mention in this here, being Quigley and Hugo. Quigley, if you don't remember, he's that little annoying brat from Skylanders Spyro's Adventure that would just say some random things about the certain Skylander you talk to him with. I hated this guy. I hated this kid with all my life. He was annoying and I just wanted to attack him with me and my friend. That's all we did in the main hub. This kid's easily the most puntable. And then the second character I mentioned was Hugo. I almost had him in column 6 and I was going to keep him in there, but then I decided that he kind of just would run away. So while he does have a book and books can do damage, not gonna lie, I still think that it's just easy work for me again. And that's column 7. I think that's a good showcase of my power right now, knowing that I can beat the mini versions of these. Now I just have to see how I stack up against the regular versions of those. Oh boy. Moving on to column 6, we have here Anime Dust Cloud. There's probably going to be a lot of anime references here, so I'm just letting you know. This tier is pretty much just like whatever they do to me, it might leave like any scratches or something like that, but nothing to faze me at all. It's going to be pretty much, like I said, a big anime dust cloud. You could even say that they're probably in Cyberman tier, but like that's probably too disrespectful for these characters. And honestly, not many as I thought was going to be in this tier. But for this tier, I do have it ranked from strongest to weakest, going from left to right. So going from right to left for this tier, we have Food Fight and Shroom Boom. The only excuse they are not in the punting tier is because they are not children. That is their only excuse. I've seen too many cartoon characters have tomatoes or just any kind of fruit or vegetable get thrown at them and not really hurt them or anything. So I think I'm fair to say that this won't do much to me. Honestly, I feel like Food Fight has a better chance of just launching himself towards me because artichokes are pretty pointy, and Shroom Boom, by just having me consume one of his mushrooms, it could be, you know, poisonous. But in their cases, that's less likely to happen to me, so that's why they're at column 6. Moving on, I think a lot of people saw this one coming, as many people like to dog on this Skylander being one of the weakest ones, and I've even made a joke about it earlier in this video, being Sprocket. She has a wrench that she can smack around, she can throw mines that are pretty obvious, so you don't have to watch out by stepping around in the wrong spot. And there's a good reason why her showcase trailers don't show her building the turret, because it takes forever. This one really surprised me. I thought Astro Blast was gonna be in tier 4 or even 3, but then I saw some guy showcased him and I thought, whoa, down you go, buddy. This guy's base moveset looks like it just sucks. But maybe there's gonna be that one Astro Blast fan in the comments below just seething from the mouth, being like, you don't know what you're talking about, you fucking take that back, you take that back. Now for Treadhead, he is actually a legal vehicle. He may have something to drive, but that's his main weapon. But even with the vehicle, it doesn't like contain him or like, you know, cover him up enough to where he could be like, you know, protected from harm. Honestly, dual pistols or just scheduling the fight in the rain will definitely stop him, and it will stop a lot of other people as well, by the way, in this list. Tornado is honestly a bit of a trickier subject. Honestly, he wouldn't be too bad. It's just that whenever he spins, he kind of just gets stuck in one movement. His tornadoes don't seem that effective. It just feels like a lot of moments with Warnado have him very vulnerable for attacks. But the best of best in this tier is Dr. Neo Cortez. He is the lowest ranked sensei I have here, which is crazy for some people to think about, being like, oh my gosh, you ranked a sensei this low? Yeah, and you might be asking, why is that? Big ass forehead. That's the only explanation I really do have. He's got like some like skills with like, you know, his sensei ability, I guess, with a gun. But if you just get in close again, light work, just a done. And now my little mention for tier 6 being Glumshanks. Yes, he is not built for this, but at the same time, if he just really tries, if he just had that type of evil energy he did in Swap Force, he could honestly probably do something. He could catch me off guard. But because he's just Glumshanks, it's just tier 6. And with Glumshanks, that also caps off tier 6 for us as well. Not many characters, honestly, it's just 2, 4, 6, 8. This tier pretty much consisted of people that we kind of expected in this tier, some that we didn't even expect, and one that just caught me off guard. Well, that was pretty easy covering those 2 tiers off. Now we go on to tier 5, which it might be a little bit of a hot take in the first 3, which is why I have them at the front, but this tier is going to be the effort needed tier. This tier is where the gloves are going to be coming off. This is where I have to take my crisscross arms and bring them down. It's where it's going to make me use 10 or more % of my power against these foes. Yep, that's 3 Dragon Ball mentions in one tier. And like I said, the first 3 or even 4 are probably a bit of a hot take for why they're so low on this one. Those being Bad Juju, Pinata, Pop Fizz, and Chompy Mage. And yes, they are pretty low for these characters that are honestly either iconic or pretty good in the game. But I do have my notes down on why I do rank them as low as I do. Starting off, let's go from Chompy Mage all the way up to Bad Juju. Because Chompy Mage has been throughout the series for a long time, I decided to combine him with his Imaginators, Trap Team, and Giants versions. And he's going to be the only exception to this rule, by the way. I'm not going to do this for Golden Queen, Grave Clobber, Hood Sickle, any other person that's been in Giants, Trap Team, you name it. And you find out why is because he honestly needs it. Now the Chompy Mage, I don't know if you knew this, he can summon Chompies, but what you probably know is that Chompies are notoriously ass. And what I mean by that is that they are a one-shot. Hell, Giants can just walk up to them and they die. And yes, he can turn into a big Chompy and just terrorize everybody, but he is still an old man. I do not care about how many Chompies he decides to launch from his Chompy bazooka gun. If I hit one, it dies. And then when I get up to him, he's dead, honestly. That might be the first murder I commit in this game. For Pop Fizz, my reason is just in one sentence. That's just don't let him drink. His potions is what gives him the power. We all know that, right? Make acid, make minions, even the glass fragments himself can do some damage to you. And if he drinks the potion, then he becomes this little rabbit guy, this little rabid little beast. So it's not gonna just be me fighting him the whole time. I think it's gonna be more of just me trying to stop Baby from drinking his sippy cup. Pinata is the second strongest person I have in this tier and can do some damage, not gonna lie. That I feel like that lollipop's gonna hurt. What I'm saying is if I hit him and it actually breaks into his pinata body, that damage is going to stay. We forget he's a pinata. This is another person I honestly could kill from this fight. And the strongest character I have in this tier is actually Bad Juju. The one thing that I have that I can just try and capitalize on is that she has a buddy named Juju Jr. If I take out Juju Jr., I feel like the grief that will go along to Bad Juju being a mother will just stop her from wanting to fight entirely because of the loss of her child, which will make me win the fight by disqualification, and that being 3 people I've killed during this little fight. That's some other people I want to talk about is Washbuckler. He is a good swapper, but is dog water for this fight. He has a sword and a bubble gun which its bubbles can only trap small characters, aka not me. Ooh, scary. Okay. Splat has a paintbrush and the bristles could hurt from the brush, but is she doing anything else with the paint? I don't think so. Eruptor does seem strong on paper and may be a living lava monster, but in practice, he's probably the easiest lava Skylander I have to face than the others that are up ahead. His fire lobs have to go in the direction he is facing. He can't turn and shoot it. The magma ball he spits out is very dodgeable and doesn't move that fast. And the lava barf attack takes forever to complete because of the no upgrades to it. But later on, you'll see the other reason why he's in this tier. Jetvac, Flipwreck, Gilgrunt, and Spyro have this little theme in common with them for why they're so low. They all have useless third attacks. Second attack doesn't seem as effective, so they're stuck using their one attack they have to go with. While Fiesta has a trumpet gun and little Fiesta buddies to help him out in the fight, if he goes into that little skull shrinkage thing, I honestly feel like that's just gonna give me an easy win. That honestly can be just a punt there too. As for the other characters on this list, you have Smash Hit, Roller Brawl, Hex, and My Boy. All of those feel like, well, what if I just do this? Then I win. That's all I have to say about them. And now I mentioned the superchargers and non-Skylander characters that I have in this list as well. The non-Skylander I do have in this list, by the way, is Buzz. And while I do think those ninja commando skills are all bark but no bite, I don't want to underestimate the guy, because what if he's right? He just whoops me? I don't want that. I gotta be on my toes. Now for the superchargers, I do have Hurricane Jetpack. He's better, but it still feels the same in a way. He shoots out fan blades now. His fan suck move seems more effective and has a better attack 3 with his dash, but it's nothing to, no pun intended, blow me away. This one I actually forgot about and had to go back and redo this. Bone Bash Roller Brawl. She's a thing. Moving on to the other one, the biggest downgrade I've ever seen in a Skylander has to be Super Shot Stealth Elf. The machine gun feels slow, the disappearance ability feels borderline useless without any upgrades to it, and the spin circle leaves her vulnerable if she doesn't land or an enemy doesn't get knocked back. Because of this big ass gun she has to hold, I have a better, easier time to go against her. Who just rang at the doorbell? And that ends off tier 5 for me. A lot of hard hitters that unfortunately do have some major weaknesses that I can take advantage of, and some that are just one-trick ponies in a way. And unfortunately, that's all the time I have for this day. So that's it for today, me. I'll see you with tomorrow, me.
Pop Panda Paradise. Positive pandas, pampering, panda pool, panda playground. Positively pandas pickle. Forget the.
Hey guys, it's me the next day. The rain took my hair away. Moving on to column 4. This is the one that's going to be pretty much rightfully named Even Steven. This is the one where we're gonna go 1-on-1, par for par. This is our Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza fight. Our Dio and Jotaro, even though I haven't even got to that part yet in JoJo's. Our Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Our Sonic and Shadow from the Jim Carrey universe. That hasn't even come out yet either. One will come out a victor, most likely me, but there's a good chance that I'm not gonna win any of these fights at all either. It's again 50-50. And I did this part, by the way, the Even Steven part, on Thanksgiving. And I should have realized this, but Margarita, aka Tequila, can make a little guy sleepy like me. And there's a lot of hot takes probably in this one as well. Again, this list is probably hot takes going forward, but still. The first one that I feel like I need to discuss is Airstrike. Airstrike is a strong melee guy. I'm not doubting him, but at the same time I am. Why I say that is because I believe the bird is the one carrying him. If you read his voice lines from at least the videos that I saw, he seems pretty insecure. He seems a little bit jealous of the bird putting in more work. I don't know if that's Air or Strike. I don't know if they're sharing names or something like that. So if I just take out the bird first, I feel like it's gonna be a more manageable fight. Winnable even. I did karate back in the day, and I regret not just going all forward and just getting my black belt. I was right there, by the way. I don't know why. I know why. It was because of volleyball. I wanted to do volleyball instead. Ambush reminds me a lot of Zook. It's just Zook, but with a dash attack. And of course, he has a sword, so that's another thing too. That's all I can say on the matter. I just think they're both manageable though, that I can do an Even Steven fight. My thoughts are also the same when it comes to me thinking Cobra Kadabra is better than Fiesta. Comparing him, I guess, would kind of be like Lego Ninjago versus Lego Star Wars. They're both good options. You just look at the other one, you're like, come on, look at the guy right here. High Volt, I feel like, is the second best sword and shield person that we have in Skylanders after this. There is another one higher than him, much higher, but I'll get to that again when we get there. Main reason why I have him as the second best is due to electricity. Even when he blocks with his shield, it benefits him and it charges him up to do more damage. So when I'm fighting him, the only time I really want to hit his shield is when I have no other choice. This one could be higher, being Magnet Charge. The one thing that's holding back Magnet Charge is the cooldown on his gun. If he just keeps shooting, it doesn't take a break at all, it's going to overheat and it's going to leave him vulnerable for damage. And that's when I can attack, honestly. Trigger Happy may look weak. He looks like a little stuffed animal, but Gold does hurt. I don't know if anybody knew that or not. Gold bullets, gold coins coming at you, yeah, that's gonna hurt, dude. But it's one of those situations, again, if I just get close up, then it's just another bunch of ass whooping that he's gonna get. Fling Kong has a frisbee. I think his best bet is just if he went full monkey mode and attacked me with monkey mode rage and all that. Just forget the frisbee, just be monkey. I feel like Terrafin, Crash Bandicoot, and Frino would be an easily just a Dragon Ball fight right there. We're just vanishing back and forth between with each other, just going par for par. That one's gonna be fun. I do think one of them will get embarrassed. I don't think that's me, hopefully. I hope I don't just go, I don't have Enigma. But from what I've seen versus other Skylanders that are Trap Masters, disappointed me. It's just was really hard for me to get a read on this guy. I didn't know if he was great or if he was good or he was just meh. But versus like Blasphemite and Enigma, it's just kind of no contest. The Vanishing is good, but if you just manage one hit on him, he unvanishes. I feel like also if I just get his robe in like a little jar or just like a little trash can, I don't think that's gonna like just vanish through it, you know? So he's just gonna be in like a poor perpetual state of limbo, just trying to get back to the physical world. And I will say Trap Masters do have an advantage because their weapon is made out of Traptanium. For those who don't know the Skylander lore, when it comes to Traptanium, it is pretty much the strongest material in that world. The only thing that can break it is Traptanium itself and whatever Chaos used to break the villains out, I guess. But with Enigma, I feel like that's when Traptanium is with the weakest. Similar to what I said for the melee guys being like a good Dragon Ball fight, I feel like with the sword people, those being Chill, Aurora, Chop Chop, and Igniter, those are gonna be some good fights there. That's like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm just imagining just fighting them, just definitely like some good cheeky fun back and forth banter between these folks. Oh yeah, Riptide's here, by the way. I forgot to mention him. Snapshot might be the hottest take I have for any Trap Master being on the same level after I kind of dogged on Enigma. He's better than Enigma though. It's just that he's much better with his upgrades. He's not able to do multiple Traptanium arrows in different directions. He's not able to get a better Vortex Whirlpool. And he's not able to charge up his Traptanium arrow to just do a bigger maximum damage. For the rest, I just couldn't think of things to name, and again, don't know how long this video is, so I'm just gonna list them off. In no particular order, you also have in this list Rebel Rouser, Freeze Blade, Pit Boss, Voodoo, Whamshell, Dino Ring, Tide Pool, Free Ranger, Fright Rider, Thrillipede, Chopper, Flameslinger, Boomer, Boom Jet, Flash Wing, Double Trouble, Dr. Crankcase, Funny Bone, Trailblazer, Hot Dog, Taekwon Crow, Slobbertooth, Whirlwind, Spy Rise, Punk Shot, Starcast, Stormblade, Dive Clops, Drobot, Drill Sergeant, Top Scotch, Zulu, Firecracken, Wind Up, Blast Zone, Grim Creeper, Sonic Boom, Star Strike, and Wolfgang. First try. As for other ones I do have on this list, I have Big Bubble Pop Fizz. I think he's better than regular Pop Fizz in this situation of a fight. Bubbles, honestly, they're bigger size and probably can do some damage, especially if it gets into your eyes. Definitely harder for him to not go into Roid Rage monster mode. Not only that, but I feel like his bubble attacks are less predictable. With regular Pop Fizz, you had to throw a potion, whereas with Big Bubble Pop Fizz, it's just can vary from the bubble to like just like little green goops and whatever the purple one was. I don't remember what the purple one was. And I also have in this tier Lava Lance Eruptor. He is much better than Eruptor. Who knew just giving him a lance and a little helmet, this boy was going to be better. And I do have two non-Skylander characters that are also in this tier, being Callie and Tessa. This one I feel like would be a good hand-to-hand combat because we'll be on the same level of fighting skill. There's like no like magic or anything to that. It's just hand-to-hand combat, baby. But if I were to say who would probably do a much better job against me, I think Tessa. I feel like that girl is pretty crazy. Just don't get the bird involved. I feel like if I don't get the bird involved, then we're good. And that's all that's in column 4. A much bigger quantity of Skylanders in this tier. And then going from here, it's more of like Skylanders that I have a lesser chance, which leads me into column 3, which is just pretty much I'm the underdog. This is instead of a 50-50, it's more of like a 25-75 with the 75 in their favor and the 25 in mine, of course. It's one where I definitely have to think of much more strategy when it comes to these fights. How can I take advantage of any weak point that will be possible? A couple of Skylanders in this tier actually have little abilities that can either stun me, slow me down, or just wear me down over time. Those being Bubble Blast, High Five, Scorp, Bloom Bloom, Bat Spin, and Rattle Shake, and Bushwhack. You can even also put Zap and Cinder in this tier with their lightning attacks too. Honestly, with Bat Spin, I feel like if she bites me at all, I'm not just gonna get poisoned, I'm gonna get a little cold case of the 19, you know? I don't want that again. It sucked. Regular Stealth Elf and Trap Shadow is what the speedy stealth characters should be. It feels like they're gonna be constantly jumping around back and forth. You don't really realize it until it's kind of almost too late when they're going to attack you. Blackout honestly feels like a Skylander that will either be in tier 2 or even tier 1, but there's one move that I just keep looking at and it's just making me stay it in tier 3, being his black hole ability. Other than the black hole attack though, he does have wing whips and the shadow orb ability from his horn, but going into the black hole, it kind of is just ass. It seems like you have to either walk into it or just get hit by it to actually do something. So just seeing that and his name literally being Blackout and him kind of having to revolve around black holes in some sort of way, I just think he's kind of disappointing me with that. Torch seems like a surprising one to have in tier 3, and my reason is that I feel like her hits are harder to block or manage. She's not using fire blades or fire magma balls or even fire rockets or whatever kind of like long range shooty thing you can do. She's using fire period. Consistent fire coming at you, by the way. Fire blades, you have a little bit of a hit here and there for breaks. Magma ball, you just dodge. Fire, it's just constantly coming at you. It's like fighting a dragon, but it's a woman with a little blowtorch. Also, the fire horseshoe attack she has, it sticks to you, which does help her out a lot as well. It's one of those little things I get, like I said earlier, that wears you down over time. It's honestly the same for Smolder Dash minus the consistency, but I feel like her attacks would be quicker and pack more of a punch, you know? Rocky Roll is kind of similar to me for Airstrike, but the reason why he's higher than Airstrike is because, well, it's a rock. Rocky feels like he's just getting carried by Roll. They're two separate people. Top one's Rocky, the bottom one's Roll. But even without Rocky, Roll is still packing a punch. He's still doing good. It doesn't change much at all. He's also got a rock barrier. He shoots out rocks, which, hey, that's gonna come pretty fast. It's like an earthbender right there. Not only that, but he also has a move where he's just rolling at your opponents like it's Indiana Jones in the Lost Ark. Yeah, enough said there. Slam Bam and Fist Bump could have been in tier 4, but I feel like with their melee attacks, it's much harder to deal with. Slam Bam having, of course, 4 arms, but also being able to freeze me in the fight, so that helps too. But with Fist Bump, it's again a rock, but sharp. Puff Thorn actually seems like a great hit and run fighter to have against me. He can just be in his little puffed out mode and just shooting little spikes coming out from different angles, and if I get too close, he can go into his smaller form and shoot out a big puff of air, which seems to be pretty effective in pushing someone back and then scamper away. Funny enough, I actually ranked Lightning Rod in tier 1, but then I realized, oh wait, that's maxed out Lightning Rod. I need to talk about not maxed out Lightning Rod, which is less good. Lightning bolts again can still do damage. He also has a really good defensive mode with his lightning cloud, you know, shocking me away if I get too close. And if I'm not paying attention, his thunder lightning can shoot down on me, even with how long it might take. And I know you probably saw this one earlier, but yes, Chaos is put in tier 3. But remember, he is like the same height as the cores, if not maybe even shorter, but also he's very, very physically weak. I know a lot of these have to get with getting in close and then just beating the shit out of them, but it's effective, let me tell you. Plus, I feel like if I get him to monologue, he will definitely be distracted where I can go in for an attack. Looky, I'm gonna name them off again in no particular order, starting with Gusto, Blades, Shortcut, Countdown, Dunebug, Flare Wolf, Grape Clobber, Gorilla Drilla, Hoodsicle, Hoot Loop, Nightlight, Mysticat, Spitfire, and Spotlight. This tier also has the last supercharged variant that I need to mention in this tier list, that being Sharpshooter Terrafin. As you can tell, he's the best supercharged variant that I see in this list that can do a better job against me. The main reason why Sharpshooter Terrafin is higher than regular Terrafin is because instead of fist, he now has a gun. a shark gun to be exact. A shark gun that shoots out mini sharks, by the way. I think I need a preference that. I don't know about you, but that feels way more effective than just chompies coming at me. He also has a slam down effect that knocks back enemies, and it seems to be a bit quicker, honestly, too. So that is also a nice cherry on top as well, but really it's just the shark gun that puts him over the edge. Here's the list again of all the tier 3s, but we're just gonna move right into tier 2. This is the one where I just need miracle hopes. I need to find a loophole. I need to find a way to cheat. I need some plot from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to help me win this fight. They have one weakness, but it's gonna be very, very hard to get to it, where I do think I am in very lower than 25% of me winning. This list also has it where I finally mentioned the giants, and I only have 2 on this list, which shows you some spoilers for the rest going away. My apologies. But those giants are actually going to be Ninjini and Eyebrow. With Ninjini, I don't know if this is gonna help me out or not, but if I destroy her little magic bottle, I feel like then I think that might be a 4th kill for me, honestly. Or I set her free. Either way, I could do a good win right there with destroying the magic bottle. With Eyebrow, I just have to go for the eye. His attacks may be slow, but his eye does help him out by just seeing where he's aiming. But even when you take out the eye, his little body still moves around. He can still do something. He can probably even still summon his little eye buddies to come out from the ground. While Blastermind does have a short stature, his telekinesis power still helps him out to enough where he can definitely beat me in a fight. Because of how good his telekinesis power is, he can honestly just ragdoll me and have his way with me. That's not what I meant by that. Camo is probably the second best core Skylander or just Spyro's Adventure character I have here. I think the next one I have later on is better than him. What does help him out is that his just moveset is just great from even just basics. Camo's primary attack is called Sunburst because he has concentrated life energy in the form of a tiny sun. He's shooting the sun at me. But I don't know if you knew this, but fire is beaten out by the sun just a little bit, you know, nothing too crazy, right? So he's got that, and he also has these explosive vines that he can just throw out there and they come out pretty fast as well. And also then he has a melon barrier. It's like Zook, but now he's launching them towards you. And we're not talking about this size watermelon or this size watermelon. We're talking about this. Ghost Roaster though, I think it's even better than him because it just kind of fear has to do with his character. His primary attack is pretty quick, but it's not something where you can just spam it off like this. It's more of like a His dash is super effective as, you know, the fear factor like I said, but he can just keep munching on me and he's very quick as well. And the Ectoplasm mode does help him out from dodging harm, but he is losing health over time, so he definitely can't stay like that forever. Night Shift honestly does feel like an average melee fighter, but what does help him out, I feel like, has to do with longevity. He is a vampire boxer. I feel like that's enough said there. Prism Break honestly feels borderline deadly and vicious when it comes to his crystal beams, and his crystal beams can also reflect off the crystal shards he summons. He can even just make it land on you if he wanted to and just not have to fight you with the beam. Not only that, but the crystal shards that poke out as a little defensive mode similar to Lightning Rod seem to definitely pierce a guy like me. Even if it just barely touches me, I feel like immediately I'm impaled. Those bees that I see from Crypt King feel like they will just definitely just kill me. Those bees will definitely kill me. The telekinesis sword can do something as well, I guess. I don't see that but as more of a flex. Kaboom's Traptanium cannon and cannonballs will definitely do some damage, but I feel like it would do more damage if he were to just fall on top of me. Now Deja Vu on the other hand, that's how you do a black hole ability right. She's got her space-time shooty staff to deal with, but also she can summon a past self, which, you know, she doesn't attack, and then you can do an attack, and then it just follows you after that, and then it just keeps building on that attack, and then you can summon a black hole, and then the black hole does some more damage too when you shoot into the black hole, and then it can explode, but also you can summon a past self. That's a lot of damage. Now here's the best sword and shield guy for this fight. It's being Doomstone. While the mace is, you know, your average sword attack, what helps it out is that his shield is much more effective than High Volt, because if you hit it, it's gonna turn you into Jade and stun you, which feels a bit more effective than electricity. Not only that, but his little belt can grow in size the longer he is charging it, and that's again at his first stage ability. For Stink Bomb, Stink is a stinking problem. That's all. I feel like I'm gonna suffocate if he tries to do any stinking towards me. I'm not a cat person. Not really. I'm trying to get into the hang of it. I'm more of a dog person, good boy. But if Scratch does that passive aggressive meowing thing that cats tend to do here and there, I'm honestly just throwing in the towel. So that's my reason why she's tier 2. She's got other stuff, yes, but it's just I don't know how to handle cats. So there's my reason. Barbella. She is a strong woman. I feel like I need to roll a nat 20 in flirtation or just good looks and suave to just have a less chance of getting my ass kicked. Echo feels like the best sound attacking Skylander when it comes to just sound based moves. Fiesta has a trumpet gun, Cobra has a magic flute. Echo is just screaming. She's just screaming. And over time, screaming can get a bit annoying and can hurt probably. Her bubbles also specifically pointed out as explosive bubbles. There's a big difference between bubble and explosive bubble. Time to list off the other Skylanders that are in tier 2, being Kingpin, Blastertron, Ember, Nightmare, Nightfall, Buckshot, Robo, Wildstorm, Bash, Sunburn, and Wallop. Pretty good selection. A lot of these people are just going to beat me down senselessly, and I have nothing to do about it unless pray, maybe. Just a little miracle hope, you know? That's why the tier is called as such. Huh. Wow. One more tier. We have made it to the final tier. The tier that pretty much will settle it all. This is no challenge at all. Instead of me punting the Skylanders, I'm getting punted by the Skylanders, and then some. They will probably not even flinch. I might have a hope of doing some type of damage to them, but I don't think I'm winning in the long run at all. There's that 99% chance they're winning, and then that 0.1% chance. I know I just said 99% and not 99.9%, but we all kind of figured it out, right? Right. This tier consists of every Skylander that I think of will easily whoop my ass. The tier that I like to call the oh dear god tier. Again, it's midnight, okay? Let's just get on with this. And I'm gonna go through every single Skylander that is in this tier and also go in order from Spyro's Adventure to Imaginators. And of course, there is no Spyro's Adventure, but there is Giants, aka all the Giants. Tree Rex is like if a tree hit the gym and did not skip leg, arm, biceps, anything day. He did not skip a single day. It is like if I went to fight a tree, but the tree had hands and they hit me in the face with it, and I'm just down for the count. Not only that, but this big hunk of bark also has a dash move and can just shoot like little spores or whatever out of his little wrist. Yeah, no. Thumbback is a whale with an anchor. Not only does he have an anchor, but one of his attacks is literally just him biting someone. That can do some damage as well. I think he just easily one quick clean bite will bite me in half. Not to mention he also has an attack where he'll just do a dive towards an enemy. So if he doesn't want to bite me in half, he can just do a belly flop instead, and I think that will also do the same amount of damage, if not more. Swarm is like a big ass bee or wasp or something that can turn into smaller insects as well that are in the same size and volume and height as Swarm. He could just nick me and that's gonna be enough for me. That's gonna be down for the count. I got stung on my hand by a bee in 5th grade, and that was enough to just put me in panic mode. Bouncer is like if I went to pick a fight with the one and only Iron Giant. Not only can he shoot fast, he's got rockets and laser eyes on top of that. Who doesn't want laser eyes? Though I think his only weakness is, once again, a rainy day. I just get him like on a little puddle. Whoop, he falls, but I still think he's got a shot at beating me. Hothead is like fighting a volcano, but now that volcano too has arms and can punch me. Also, he can make it rain fire. I think that's enough. I try to get in close with him. He just does a little fire rain and I'm just dead. I'm dead. Crusher may be the worst giant, but he is still great in a one-on-one fight, especially when it's up against me. His hammer is literally named after him, he can turn into little boulders that can just explode. And then, hey, if I'm in the spot where he exploded and they just come back together, I'm getting crushed. Not only that, but his little eye beams can turn someone into stone. I'm dead. If he hits me while I'm in stone, I'm in pieces, actually. That's all of Giants. There's no swappers in this tier, but there are a couple of trap masters, being Lobstar, Thunderbolt, Jawbreaker, Gear Shift, Head Rush, Wildfire, and Tough Luck. One thing that they do have in common is that they all have Traptanium weapons. That helps them out already. Now going one by one, Lobstar can increase his speed with his little hard-boiled ability and can charge at me with his big-ass pointy forehead. Also, while he's throwing those little Traptanium stars at me, he can honestly just smack me and that will do enough damage as well. Thunderbolt is literally a stormy cumulonimbus cloud. How am I supposed to do damage to a cloud? A cloud. Lightning Rod, he had an excuse because there was a top half of human. This is just all cloud. What, am I supposed to poke his eyes and see if that does damage? Maybe he cries home to his mommy? No, what? Jawbreaker is actually similar to Lobstar with this little ability that can just boost his speed up. It doesn't boost his attack up though with his ability, but he's already punching really fast anyway, so it's not like he needed more speed to his punches. Robo Rage mode comes in great for him because other than that, he is pretty slow. Gear Shift is just on crack. She can go in from defense with her little hoop ring, offense with her melee dual gear blades, and she could become a range fighter shooting gear fragments at me. I didn't even name her other ability. That's all. That's all she needs. While no one wants to hear Head Rush's yodeling, and it is an added bonus to just be stomping on the ground causing earthquakes, she can rush at me with her head ramming Traptanium weapon little horns. Yeah, I think that's enough said there. That's gonna hurt. Ow. Wildfire is a golden lion. If he was really wanting to and just say screw the shield, he could tear me apart. Again, it's a lion. That's golden. And I know what you might be saying, but Michael, that's his soul gem when he just says fuck shield, go into lion mode. That didn't count. I thought you weren't counting the soul gems. No. That's still a lion. Do you want to fight the golden lion? I don't think so. These are my goddamn rules, and I will choose how I'm gonna get pummeled by this lion. Also, forgot to mention, he's a fire golden lion. Just had to mention that as well. I felt like that was a little bit important. Maybe that was the little deal breaker there, you know? Oh, maybe you can beat him. Oh no, he's a fire golden lion? Fuck, never mind. And now ending it with Tough Luck. The only reason I had her up this high was actually because of the Adult Swim video. I don't want to think about that video. Every time I have to look up Bushwhack or Tough Luck for this video just to find like footage of their fighting, I have to scroll down a little bit just to see if I can find any others, and I see that Adult Swim video. I hate it. Really? It was popular, but Adult Swim? Okay. No, not okay. What? Moving on from Trap Masters, we do have Superchargers. Those two only being Donkey Kong and Bowser. Come on. They're in Smash Bros. They're main characters in their games. Well, Bowser's a main antagonist, but Donkey Kong's a main character in his games. And also, Donkey Kong is literally a big gorilla monkey that could just act like all gorilla monkey mode on me and beat me up. It's like Fling Kong, but if he took steroids, you know? And then Bowser, of course, is a fire-breathing turtle with dragon-like abilities. Not much saying there. There's not much else to say there. It's pretty good. And now he has a hammer? Okay, buddy. And Donkey Kong is in turbocharge mode. That's enough said. I wonder how many times I actually said that, by the way. And now we're into the final stages of this tier, being the senseis. Going off right with Golden Queen. One thing that always has on my mind is that Golden Queen's ability to turn enemies into gold. I feel like that can stay long enough to a point where it will defeat me. And again, having gold as your attack does help out a lot. Look at Trigger Happy, but a golden scarab, that's pushing it. Tri-Tip's mace has a huge and crazy shockwave when it comes to him hitting anything or just the ground as well. Plus, his charging move is similar to Head Rush, as it just goes right towards it. You can honestly compare it a bit better to Lobstar with the speed, but even Tri-Tip's little dash attack is faster. The only part that takes long is just him building up for it. And I didn't know what to say about the little fossil ones, but hey, it's a bit spooky, why not? And for the last sensei on this list, the last Skylander actually, is going to be chain reaction. Chainsaw Man. It's just a chainsaw that has life in a bulky man body. A chainsaw bulky man. He even has dual swords that are also chainsaws. I don't need to look into his abilities. It's already there. I just immediately was like, chain reaction? Yep, up there. And there we go. That's all of tier 1 through 7 of all the Skylanders and fun characters that I like to put in there as well, ranked on this list. And now you also might be thinking, that's it. That's all the tiers, right? Right? Wrong. There's a final column actually. That's actually called tier 0, being God amongst mortals. I don't feel right in this shirt. Let me just awesome, perfect, much better. There is a reason why I named the first tier Oh Dear God, and that is because I prayed to God to answer my prayers in hopes that I could beat these Skylanders, but instead God just looked at me, laughed, maybe even spit on me, and decided to whip my ass as well. So much shame he felt in me that he just wanted to come down and give me a quick knuckle sandwich while also showing me how it's done by beating every single other Skylander and non-Skylander character. There is still one person I have yet to bring up in this video, and no, I'm going to burst your bubble now. It is not Master Eon. The reason for that is simple. It is because he is dead and is just a flying spirit head. Automatic disqualification from him. And like I said, this person has the ability, I think, to beat every single Skylander and company in this video that I mentioned. Very few people probably knew who I was talking about, but now that I mentioned Master Eon is not it, you are probably catching on to who it was. This person that I mentioned, this powerful being, is actually none other than Flynn himself. Now you might hear that answer and do a little chuckle or a hearty laugh at my response, but I'm being serious, and I think you do need to hear me out for this one. What's my reason, you might ask? Well, it actually goes back to Trap Team in the Adventure Pack level, the Nightmare Express. I'm gonna read off the Skylander Wiki's description of the Nightmare Express level, which is that the level takes place in Flynn's wild imagination as he memoirs the story on how he found the legendary Trolley Grail. Noodles also appears as the level's antagonist, playing as a rival treasure hunter who also wants the Trolley Grail. Noodles, for those who don't remember, was actually first seen in Giants and seems to be the arch enemy to Flynn and seems like the only one that actually can go blow for blow with this strong character. But Noodles is not the reason why I think Flynn is the strongest character in the Skylanders series. It actually has to do with what happens in the level itself. In the level, there are 2 villains you can trap, along with hats and a legendary treasure to find as you progress. And as your Skylander does progress throughout the level, it can gain experience points to level up and gold to upgrade their abilities. But once the level is over, all those villains you trapped, all that XP and gold that you earned, the abilities you got to upgrade yourself, the legendary treasure and the hats, all of that comes back to the real world, the main world in Trap Team. And that's where the true strength lies. His pen work. Flynn may have came up with that story from his imagination, but his imagination came to life. I don't think you're processing this though. His story from his imagination came to life. A Lobgoblin and a Trolling Thunder that was considered to be on the same level of villains such as Chef Pepperjack and Sheep Creep was made into the world to be trapped. This is not a joke anymore, as real lives are starting to be affected right now due to Flynn controlling us, the Portal Master, and the Skylander to do what he wants to be done to complete this story. Flynn right now could be writing a story about how he's cooking me up like mom's spaghetti and then taking me out in a stretcher, and there's a good chance of that happening. Chaos evaporating, Flynn granting himself upper body strength, him making Tree Rex and Kaboom make out, Flynn just becoming a Skylander himself along with Cleveland Brown. Those are all now possibilities due to, again, his pen work. I cannot stress this point enough. Anything now is possible with him. Who says he hasn't done more like this before? Who says he's not doing it right now, actually? I don't know if you know right now, but I'm starting to freak out a bit here. Can't you tell? But to put a cherry on top of this cupcake, not only is he Flynn, but also he's Joe fucking Swanson. Bring it on!
on!
And that, my viewers watching this, is why I think Flynn Danger Swanson, yes, that is his middle name, is undoubtedly the strongest character I and anyone else from the Skylanders series will possibly face. And now that truly ends off my list of ranking every Skylander and company on a tier list of who I could beat in a one-on-one fight, from going from the bottom of me just punting them to Flynn Danger Swanson. But hey, it's fun to speculate and also go into a little crazy theory. Why not? Oh boy, my Skylander ranking video is almost done. I can't wait to finally upload it and post it onto YouTube's in my house room. Yeah, something like that. Ooh, is that a knock at the door? I wonder who it will be coming into my room. Mother, is that you maybe? It's Flynn from the Skylanders series, the hit game of Toys to Life Is that Flynn from the hit video game Toys to Life series Skylanders? What are you doing here at my house? Please don't hurt me. Please don't cook me up like mom's spaghetti. What's that? You have something to say? Well, then come over here. Come to the mic. Speak up. Let's hear what you have to say. No. Actually, get your own mic. Get your own mic. Here. Take this one. Take this one. Hey, what's with the angel music?
They're not making another Skylanders game. That tit's been milked dry. Quit speculating about it.
Excuse me?
They're not making another Skylanders game. That tit's been squeezed dry. Quit speculating about it. Oh yeah. Keep that yeah in there.
Huh. I wonder what he meant by that. Is the video at an hour yet? Hello, it's editing me. I thought I'd put this in last minute at the end of the video, as it's the end of the year of 2024 going into 2025. So I just thought I'd say a few things, you know, why not? What a year. It's been a pretty solid year for me, honestly, personally. But for the channel wise, it's been solid as well. I don't know what else to say. It's just been solid. I hit 2 goals that I had for my channel this year. One of those being just getting a video with over 1,000 views, almost 2,000 views actually. And my other goal was to hit 100 subscribers, which that video that also hit 1,000 views helped me out to get to. And because of that, I thought maybe I could hit 200 subscribers, and I did that. I actually did that on Christmas Eve. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for 200. Definitely next year I'm gonna try to make sure content comes out just a bit more. That was my goal for this year, and I did okay, I guess. But for 2025, I want to try and just get better at putting out content, just be a little bit more productive when it comes to it as well. Seeing from these last 3 or so videos, it's been quicker personally for me to get videos done. The only thing I'd say that's taken me a while is, again, just trying to be productive to get a video out. And it's one of my goals that I also have personally for me for 2025. I just want to be more productive. I want to eat healthier and just also still just be a better me, as that's something I always try to do as I've gotten older. Next month I'll be 22, and I'm just trying to find the words to describe how I feel going into just being someone in their 20s already. I've learned so much personally, but still feel like I have so much that I still have yet to learn. And another goal I have for 2025 is just keep making the videos better. And I almost forgot to mention this as well, but I actually hired someone to do the artwork for the thumbnail. Big thank you to Bobo. It looks amazing. I love it so much. They even threw in a little extra bonus of just me on there. So after this video is posted, I'll pretty much probably be using that as my YouTube profile picture now, instead of me when I was, I think, 19 celebrating my birthday at my grandparents' house. But yeah, big thank you to Bobo. Her card will be in the description below, and also just flash it on the screen right here as well. And that's all I have to say just regarding this year. But back to the video that you are watching. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, let me know in the comments below, of course. Comment below what you think of my tier list, if you agree or disagree with some of the placements that are on there. Also subscribe, as that'll put a smile on my face. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go and just play some Skylanders. I'm gonna go grab my Skylander bin and get Kaboom and Tree Rex to just start making out like, and they're both boys. What if What if instead of Tree Rex, he was called Freak Rex instead? And instead of him just being a Skylander, he'd just be a little freak. He'd just be a little freak with kaboom. This is so stupid. Here's to 2025, I guess. Ah, damn. But, yeah. Okay, bye.
This guy sent me 4 hours of my own voice lines, expecting me to listen to them all. Well, of course I did. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. It's just you and me and you. Come here, you